down.
Of Africa City. Let's all be seated. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, who is also the host of this breakfast meeting, is with us. His Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. Let's all be seated so that we begin. Welcome, Your Excellency. Welcome also to the Director General of Africa CDC, Dr. Jean Kaseya, and also to the Honorable Ministers of Health and Honorable Foreign Ministers, all diplomats, colleagues and partners, good morning. This morning we are gathered here to discuss local manufacturing and to provide momentum for Africa in terms of health resilience. I will hand over to my colleague, Dr. Benjamin, who is from the Africa CDC, to proceed.
Thank you so much, Dr. Uma, Permanent Principal Secretary of Health of Kenya. Excellency William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, and AU Champion on Local Manufacturing. Excellencies representing AU Head of State and Government, Honorable Ministers, Your Excellency, Director General of Africa CDC, Dr. Jean Kaseya, leaders of regional economic communities, dear African health product manufacturers, distinguished partners, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my distinct honor to welcome you to the Presidential Roundtable on Local Manufacturing of Health Commodities, a pillar of Africa's health security and sovereignty, on the sidelines of the 39th Ordinary Session of the African Union. We gather at a defining moment for our continent. Africa has articulated a bold vision to strengthen health sovereignty, build a resilient supply chain, and position our continent as a competitive global hub for the manufacturing of vaccines, therapeutics, diagnostics, and other essential health products. Today's side event is not a ceremonial gathering. It is a leadership working session convened by His Excellency, the President of Kenya and the champion of local manufacturing, to translate commitment into coordinated action, align investment, and accelerated implementation at both continental and national levels. Allow me to invite Honorable Aden Duale, Cabinet Secretary, Republic of Kenya, for the introduction and inviting His Excellency the President.
Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, distinguished heads of delegation, partners from Africa and beyond, ladies and gentlemen, the African Union appointed His Excellency Dr. William Ruto of Kenya as the champion for local manufacturing for pharmaceuticals and non-pharmaceuticals in Africa during the 37th AU Heads of State and Government Summit in February of 2024. This appointment was made to advocate and accelerate the continent's goal of manufacturing 60% of Africa's health products needs by 2040 in order to achieve health commodity security. I am honored and privileged to invite the continental champion for local manufacturing in Africa, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, to begin this dialogue that sits at the very heart of Africa's health security, economic transformation, and sovereignty. Your Excellency, sir.
Thank you very much. Please, let's take our seats. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and welcome to Addis. For far too long, Africa has remained at the periphery of the global health economy, largely as a net consumer of health commodities produced elsewhere. This has come at a significant cost to our national budgets, the stability of our health systems, and the resilience of our people. This is why we must act with deliberate speed. Local manufacturing of health products is no longer a goal we can postpone. It is an urgent priority. It sits at the heart of Africa's health security and sovereignty agenda. Across many of our countries, nearly 60% of health expenditure is paid out of pocket by citizens.
Good morning. It is my distinct honor to welcome you to the Presidential Roundtable on Local Manufacturing of Health Commodities, a pillar of Africa's health security and sovereignty, on the sidelines of the 39th Ordinary Session of the African Union. We gather at a defining moment for our continent. Africa has articulated a bold vision to strengthen health sovereignty, build a resilient supply chain, and position our continent as a competitive global hub for the manufacturing of vaccines, therapeutics, diagnostics, and other essential health products. Today's side event is not a ceremonial gathering. It is a leadership working session convened by His Excellency the President of Kenya and the champion of local manufacturing to translate commitment into coordinated action, align investment, and accelerated implementation at both continental and national levels. Allow me to invite Honorable Aden Duale, Cabinet Secretary, Republic of Kenya, for the introduction and inviting His Excellency the President.
Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, distinguished heads of delegation, partners from Africa and beyond, ladies and gentlemen, the African Union appointed His Excellency Dr. William Ruto of Kenya as the champion for local manufacturing for pharmaceuticals and non-pharmaceuticals in Africa during the 37th AU Heads of State and Government Summit in February of 2024. This appointment was made to advocate and accelerate the continent's goal of manufacturing 60% of Africa's health products needs by 2040 in order to achieve health commodity security. I am honored and privileged to invite the continental champion for local manufacturing in Africa, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, to begin this dialogue that sits at the very heart of Africa's health security, economic transformation, and sovereignty. Your Excellency, sir.
Thank you very much. Please, let's take our seats. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and welcome to Addis. For far too long, Africa has remained at the periphery of the global health economy, largely as a net consumer of health commodities produced elsewhere. This has come at a significant cost to our national budgets, the stability of our health systems, and the resilience of our people. This is why we must act with deliberate speed. Local manufacturing of health products is no longer a goal we can postpone. It is an urgent priority. It sits at the heart of Africa's health security and sovereignty agenda. Across many of our countries, nearly 60% of health expenditure is paid out of pocket by citizens. Millions are forced to obtain essential medicines through informal markets, where the risk of substandard or falsified products is very high. We must address this challenge to both protect our people and to reduce the economic leakage that weakens trust and undermines formal pharmaceutical markets. The economic case for action is equally strong. Africa's pharmaceutical market was valued at approximately $36 billion in 2023 and is projected to exceed $122 billion by 2032. If we manufactured even half of the products we currently import, we could save between 30 million and 50 billion annually. Resources that could be redirected towards infrastructure, social protection, innovation, and other social services. We have the capacity to achieve this ambition. Africa has the world's youngest workforce and a single market of 1.4 billion people under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. We have launched the Africa Pooled Procurement Mechanism through Africa CDC to address market fragmentation and aggregate demand across countries. Without predictable and aggregated markets, local manufacturers cannot scale or remain viable. Pooled procurement is therefore not optional. It is a necessity. It can help secure better prices, improve availability, and provide demand certainty, giving African producers the confidence to invest and scale up. A strong foundation is already in place. Africa now hosts more than 570 registered health product manufacturers and over 27 vaccine manufacturing initiatives. Our regulatory systems are advancing with 9 national authorities having reached World Health Organization Maturity Level 3. The Africa Medicines Agency is now operational, strengthening trust in African-made products. To close remaining skill gaps, we are developing a qualified workforce through the Regional Capability and Capacity Network. I call on all member states to subscribe to Africa Pool Procurement Mechanism and align procurement plans so that measurable progress can be achieved within this year. Successful industrialization will require regional manufacturing ecosystems and value addition. Africa must move away from exporting raw materials and importing finished products. Through regional value chains and harmonized standards, we can manufacture competitively for our continental market. We must also invest consistently in research and development because innovation is essential to long-term independence. We must also provide the right enabling environment, sound policy, reliable infrastructure, effective regulation, and affordable financing. Manufacturing depends on reliable energy, modern logistics, and access to capital. Continental financial institutions, including the Africa Development Bank and Afri-Exim Bank, should continue converting commitments into practical, bankable projects for manufacturers. The Africa Continental Free Trade Area must be powered by African production. Without strong local manufacturing, it risks becoming a channel for imports rather than a driver of African industry. To translate these priorities into coordinated action, I therefore propose that the Africa Union convene an extraordinary meeting on local manufacturing this year. I am looking at the possibility of having this summit just before the Africa-French Summit in Nairobi in May. This summit would allow us to review progress and build the partnership needed to achieve the targets of producing at least 60% of Africa's health products on the continent by 2040. Thank you very much, and welcome to this conversation.
Thank you once again, Excellency, for your remarks. As we move forward in this discussion, it is essential that we ground our discussions in a clear and shared understanding of where we stand. The presentation we are about to receive, the State of Africa's Product Manufacturing, is a strategic snapshot of our continental capacity, our progress, our gaps, and our opportunity. Allow me to invite His Excellency Dr. Jean Kaseya, the Director General of Africa CDC, to brief His Excellencies in the room. Help me welcome the Director General.
Your Excellency, President William Ruto, our champion. I don't know how many championships you have, but you are coping and you are leading Africa. Excellency, I will go quickly because I know the day is packed. I wanted just to give you an overview on where we are today with this agenda. Excellency, as you can see, Africa CDC started in 2015, launched in 2017, and we are moving. Thanks to your support, we got an extended mandate, and we secured you as champion in 2024. And today, you decided to give us an extended mandate. What is this extended mandate we are talking about? First, to transform the program that was only for vaccine, PAVM, to manufacture all products. One example, Excellency, during COVID time, we didn't have syringes in Africa. Now we have syringes coming from Kenya with Rivetal Healthcare, from Mombasa, and now we have also some syringes coming from Rwanda. It means Africa market can become self-sufficient with this initiative. We also, as you said, you spoke highly, loudly, and clearly about the African pool procurement mechanism. There is no debate about it. Africa wants this APPM, and your call for action will be followed, Excellency. In 2024 and 2025, we also said thank you to our leaders to expand our mandate, because in the beginning we were just for epidemic response. Now we are the public health agency to support all of this agenda. And we are working closely, as you said, with FDB, Afreximbank, and all other partners. We need a clear vision, and we are supported by the EDCAT. With this EDCAT, most of you, Excellency, yourself, President Ichelema, represented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, President Mahama, and President Ramaphosa, you decided to come together and to talk about the sovereignty of Africa. And today we have our new vision, what we call the Africa Health Security and Sovereignty, with 5 pillars. The third pillar of this vision is on local manufacturing. Excellency, you are unlocking $240 billion for your economy. And you are a champion of FCFTA. Yesterday I saw you talking to our leaders about how we need to make this FCFTA moving. And it will move when we achieve this goal of at least 60% of all health products manufactured in Africa. But for that, we have what we call some 8 bold programs. And these 8 bold programs are leading the manufacturing in Africa. We start from research and development, we finish to the market. And we are working with other colleagues and organizations to see how to make this program moving. We made a lot of progress. The first one is we are expanding now the manufacturing in Africa. Today, we have around 600 manufacturers in Africa, around 25 to 30 focusing on vaccine, and we have also our AMA, African Medicine Agency, operationalized, sitting with a number of NRAs. As you said, in Kenya, now the NRA is maturity level 3. We have also the African procurement mechanism already operationalized. On financing side, the good news is everyone is telling us there is no funding issue. Afrexim Bank, AFDB, our African banks, they are telling us that we have around $5 billion available. We need just to tap in this money and to see how to move with our agenda. We have some policy frameworks in place, and the most important one, Excellency, we cannot talk about manufacturing without research and development. Today, if you can see in the screen, in 2022, we had 0 African-led research program. Today, we have 48. We are leading, and we have CEPI here, the CEO of CEPI is here, and other colleagues. We are working together to make the research and development a program that is successful in Africa. Market shaping is one of our targets in 2026. We'll be launching that, and we are working with European Union. We are working with other partners to launch a successful market shaping program in 2026. So many challenges. I will not go through all of that, but we know if we consider the 8 board programs, we know each of the 8 board programs is coming with some challenges. This is what is helping us to manage and to know how to move forward. And Excellency, the good news is we are on top of everything. And I can see we have colleagues. I was attending World Health Summit. Excellency, you will meet the president of World Health Summit. He's coming with fresh idea on how we can also move with German companies. Just for you, Excellency, we'll have 4 CEOs coming from Germany to attend our meeting in Nairobi, who will maybe sign some agreement with us. What are key priorities? This is my last slide. As you said, and we'll hear from you in the AU Assembly, and I will do the follow-up following your instruction. Each African country must sign the APPM. The second one is the market shaping. We need to know if we manufacture a product in Kenya, in Zambia, in another country, we need to know what is the perspective in terms of price, because we need to control the price. And let me tell you, Excellency, I'm not afraid to say that President Macron, a week ago, he was saying we need to give preference to European market. Why cannot give preference to African market? I think this is what we are saying every day. We are supporting AMA and we are supporting our national regulatory authorities. We don't want to give reason to people who are saying there is no market, there is no regulatory aspect in Africa. This is why I think this one, it's also a major priority. The last one, as you said, we need to come together. So many people are talking about end-to-end local manufacturing. End-to-end is sitting with African Union. And end-to-end is sitting with our member state. And end-to-end is needing collaboration with all other partners. This is why this extraordinary summit will be an opportunity to think about this end-to-end program. Thank you so much, Excellency.
Thank you so much, Director General, for this briefing. In recent years, the continent battled cholera outbreaks which touched many AU member states, and the African Union took a bold step in appointing a champion for cholera, leading continental efforts to eliminate disease by 2030. In 2025, a major continental preparedness plan advocating for increased domestic financing, strengthen water, sanitation, and hygiene infrastructure, and boosted vaccine production to combat rising outbreaks. Help me welcome Honorable Milambo Aimbe, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Zambia, who is going to give his remark on behalf of His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia and AU Cholera Champion, for his leadership case study. Thank you.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, the Director General, Africa CDC, Honorable Ministers, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, I bring warm greetings from His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema, on behalf of whom I am delivering this statement. First and foremost, we wish to thank you for the invitation to this event, whose focus is to discuss local manufacturing of health commodities aimed at strengthening Africa's health sovereignty. Africa adopted the framework for the strengthening of the local production of medicines, vaccines, and other medical technologies 2025 to 2035 at the 74th session of the World Health Organization Africa Region Committee in August 2024. The focus now is to move from political commitments to practical implementation, transforming the declaration into a concrete action program that delivers tangible benefits to African citizens. This requires sustained leadership and full commitment to collective continental efforts to achieve this noble goal. Your Excellencies, recognizing the untapped potential for the pharmaceutical sector, Zambia has prioritized the development of a robust and locally driven pharmaceutical industry. Central to its vision is addressing the pressing challenges of overdependence on imported pharmaceutical products and limited local production capacity. To address these challenges, government has taken up various remedial measures. Among them, Zambia has taken bold steps to set up a joint venture for oral cholera vaccine manufacturing, through which we have committed to have the first batch of vaccines filled and finished in Zambia in this year, and with a plan to work towards end-to-end manufacturing by end of 2028. Through this initiative, we have plans to expand to human and animal vaccines within the foreseeable near future. Thank you. Your Excellencies, the benefits of investing in the local pharmaceutical production are far-reaching. Amongst them, value addition, improved supply chain stability, development of health sovereignty, production of specialized medicines, decongesting the central warehouses, cost reduction and efficiency, and capacity building. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, currently, Africa and the region has a magnitude of challenges facing the continent, including regulatory barriers, the need to harmonize legislative frameworks, establishing continental platforms for raw material procurement, strengthening industrial cooperation amongst African states, enabling African countries to grow their capacities and capabilities in the sector, and enhancing Africa's autonomy in health technologies. We therefore recommend, Your Excellencies, that there is need to assess and strengthen national regulatory authorities using the World Health Organization Global Benchmarking Tool, which addresses 9 key regulatory functions. So far, 9 national regulators on the continent have reached maturity level, with 3, and our government's, 9 national regulators on the continent have reached maturity level 3, and our governments need to support this cause to build strong regulatory and ethics capabilities. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Excellencies. Now we are moving to the section on presidential dialogue. From vision to action, it is my honor to call His Excellency, Dr. Baid Abdel Hatim, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Arab Republic of Egypt, for his statement. Help me welcome His Excellency. Thank you.
Your Excellency President William Ruto, the champion of local pharmaceutical manufacturing in Africa, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Excellencies, Heads of State and Governments, Honorable Ministers, Director General of the African Center for Disease Control and Prevention, distinguished guests. Allow me at the outset to express Egypt's sincere appreciation to the Republic of Kenya and to His Excellency President William Ruto for their decisive leadership in advancing local pharmaceutical and health product manufacturing across Africa. This agenda reflects a vital principle. Africa's health security depends on its capacity to produce its own medicine and vaccines, rather than relying excessively on external sources. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, recent health crises have demonstrated that local manufacturing is no longer a developmental option, but it's a strategic necessity. The success of local pharmaceutical manufacturing relies on an integrated continental framework that combines strong regulation, sustainable financing, and assured demand. In this context, the African pooled procurement mechanism would play a pivotal role in consolidating demand procurement for essential vaccines and medicine. Egypt looks forward to hosting the said mechanism, building on the success of our unified procurement authority. We are proud that the Egyptian National Drug Authority is the first in Africa to achieve the WHO maturity level 3 in both medicines and vaccines regulations, and is steadily progressing towards level 4. We place this expertise at the continent's disposal to harmonize standards, enhance product credibility, and accelerate sustainable local production. In addition, Egypt highlights its national experience with the rollout of universal health insurance in Egypt, which demonstrates how organized and sustainable demand for health services and products is crucial for the success of any local manufacturing strategy. This approach links products is crucial for the success of any local manufacturing strategies. This approach links comprehensive healthcare coverage, financial sustainability, and support for domestic industry. We also emphasize the importance of facilitating intra-Africa trade in pharmaceutical under the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, in an alignment with existing regional frameworks, notably COMESA. Looking ahead, Egypt looks forward to achieve and constructive participation in the extraordinary African Summit on Local Pharmaceutical Manufacturing to be held in Nairobi in April 2026. We see this summit as an important opportunity to translate political commitments into concrete actions. In conclusion, Egypt stands ready to share its expertise with all brotherly and sisterly African countries, as well as we are fully supports Kenya's leadership on this very strategic agenda and affirm that local pharmaceutical manufacturing is a cornerstone of African health. We support the convening of the summit you propose, Your Excellency. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Excellency. Now allow me to call Honorable Mr. Kwabena Minta Akando, Minister of Health of the Republic of Ghana, representing His Excellency President John Mahama. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, President RUTO, the Director General of Africa CDC, colleagues, partners, invited guests. Your Excellency, your brother would have loved to be with you at this time, but he's hosting the Accra reset at the same time. Thank you to Africa CDC and the government of Kenya for convening us today. I especially wish to recognize President William Ruto for championing this vital agenda. At first glance, our discussion of local manufacturing may seem technical, but at its core, it is profoundly human. It raises a fundamental question: when the next crisis arrives, will Africa be prepared to protect its people? The COVID-19 pandemic delivered a painful lesson. Despite being home to nearly 1.4 billion people, Africa had access to less than 1% of the world's vaccines. While wealthier nations roll out boosters, many African countries struggled to vaccinate even 5% of their populations. We all remember the headlines, but more importantly, we remember the anxiety, uncertainty, and the losses that touch every corner of our continent. That experience has forever changed our view of health security. Today, the question is no longer whether Africa should manufacture its own health products. The debate is settled. The real question is, how quickly can we move? In Ghana, we took that lesson to heart. We placed local manufacturing at the intersection of our health, economic, and industrial agenda. In 2023, we established the National Vaccine Institute to drive vaccine research, manufacturing, and partnerships. Last year, we committed an additional $50 million in seed funding to advance this vision. We are proud to have achieved WHO Maturity Level 3 regulatory status, placing us among a select group of African countries with robust regulatory systems. Our hard work continues as we strive towards Level 4. Our ambition is clear: to make Ghana a regional hub for vaccines and health commodity manufacturing. In all these, government cannot do it all alone. We need the private sector on board. And I dare say, this must be seen as investment and as part for economic growth. At this point, Your Excellency, permit me to recognize one of Ghana's leading local manufacturers, Atlantic Life Sciences. And I'm happy to say he's with us here in the room, Trapati. Last year, Trapati's company started producing an anti-snake venom serum locally in Ghana. And this year, I have challenged him to end the year with more than one vaccine. Ladies and gentlemen, despite this achievement, we are realistic. Factories alone do not create manufacturing. Ecosystems do. We need vibrant markets, accessible finance, skilled professionals, strong regulations, and governments united in purpose. Our continent is advancing. We see rare progress. Technology transfer partnerships with mRNA and biologics. The African Medicine Agency has been established. Pool procurement initiatives are growing. National regulatory authorities are strengthening. These are significant steps forward, and the opportunity is enormous. By 2030, Africa's health commodities market is projected to reach $200 billion US. Imagine the possibilities. Jobs, innovation, industrial growth, and stronger health security for millions. But we must ask ourselves, will this $200 billion market continue to create jobs elsewhere, or will it finally create jobs here in Africa? We have made progress, but barriers remain. Manufacturers face fragmented, unpredictable markets, high capital cost, limited advanced purchase commitment, shortage of skills workforce, poor condition across sectors. In short, the risks for investors remain too high. Unless we reduce them, we will not scale up as needed. The next phase of our journey must be political, not just technical. There are several urgent actions we need to take. Create predictable markets through procurement and regional purchase commitment, giving manufacturers confidence to invest. De-risk financing with blended finance, development banks, and sovereign guarantees stepping up. Strengthen regulation, mutual recognition, and African Medicine Agency will unlock regional markets. Invest in people. Africa is serious. Africa is moving. Your Excellencies, colleagues, local manufacturing is more than pandemics. It is about dignity, resilience, and economic transformation. Africa has the talent, the market, and the momentum. Now we need speed and we need skill. Let us move from dependence to reliance, from importation to innovation, from fragmentation to continental scale, because Africa cannot build its health security on global goodwill alone. We must manufacture our resilience at home. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kwabena. Now, after the partners, after the vision from the member state, we are going to move to our partners. We cannot do local manufacturing without partners. So allow me to invite Farah Lobster, chair of the board, African Vaccine Manufacturing Initiative, AVMI.
Good morning, Excellencies, dear partners, distinguished guests. All protocols observed because I've been given 2 minutes. I'm privileged to be here today to represent the African vaccine manufacturing industry, and I'm even more pleased to share that we have representation from 3 of the manufacturers that we expect the first 8 WHO pre-qualified vaccines to come from between now and 2030. That's Aspen, IPD, and Biovac. So please give them a round of applause. Thanks to the vision and political will, we've achieved much since the pandemic, but there are some key elements that we need to address right now to move to scale. And I think I want to just start by dispelling a myth. African manufacturers, and this is on behalf of all of us, we can be competitive. We can be cost competitive in an enabling ecosystem. So what does that mean? Number 1, we need to unlock continental volumes. We need our member states to commit to buying from Africa. We need to translate from political will to policy. I think number 2, we need regulatory reform to accelerate the registration of African products. We need to enable access to market. We need this through harmonization, mutual recognition, and then accelerated paths to WHO pre-qualification. So we have manufacturers in this room today from maturity level 3 countries who have done the tech transfers. They've got batches produced, but they need another 2 years for an NRA approval and then another 2 years for WHO pre-qualification. That's 6 years. After 6 years, can you possibly be competitive? Can you possibly get volumes into your facilities? So I think that's the second thing. The third thing is we need to acknowledge and appreciate Gavi's $1.2 billion AVMA. This will absolutely reduce the cost of manufacture for African manufacturers. However, times have changed, the ecosystem has changed, and so we need to accelerate the course correction because the focus for member states now is on lowest cost and value. And so that is our ask, is that we accelerate Gavi's AVMA. Before I close and finish my 2 minutes, I just want to add that we absolutely need to focus on R&D innovation spend now, because if we don't, then 10 years from now we will still be in this cycle of dependency and our continent needs to own its own assets. So I will close here by thanking specifically Africa CDC for continuing to give us a voice at the table. As industry, we appreciate being part of the solutions. And then also, of course, we'd like to thank our member states for maintaining the political will despite everything that's happening and the multiple competing priorities. And then finally, of course, we'd like to thank our AU champion for local manufacturing, His Excellency President RUTO. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Farah. Now we are inviting Dr. Sanya Nishtar, Chief Executive Officer of Gavi, the Alliance. She is on the video. It will be a very short one. Thank you so much, and thank you for your patience.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Africa's leaders have set a bold vision. A continent that can produce 60% of its own vaccines by 2040. This is a vision rooted in sovereignty, resilience, and aspirations to usher in an economic transformation. We welcome your vision. And all I want to say here with great humility and respect is that Gavi is honored to support you. Through the Gavi Leap Reform Initiative, we have transformed our secretariat over the past 12 months to put African priorities and African sovereignty at the heart of everything we do. Support for the African Vaccine Manufacturing Accelerator, or AVMA as we call it, is part of that approach. Thanks to our generous donors,